I've lived in my apartment for 15 years. What can the landlord do to me? Okay, here's the thing. The rent control law affects any unit where someone has resided in that unit for a year or more. Because you see, once your year is up and your lease expires, if you were in a non-rent control apartment, the landlord could then move the rents at any rate he wanted to. This is in the state of California. Um, if you were in a non-rent controlled building. Now let me tell you how the line got moved, Tony. The line got moved from October 1 of 1978, and it just got moved to 15 years ago. And it's a moving number now. Okay, so let me explain what that means. It used to be if your building was built before October of 1978, that building was subject to rent control, meaning the city could tell the landlord, hey, you can only raise rents this year 3%, 4%. If the unit was vacant, then the landlord could raise the rent to whatever he wanted. But as long as you were in that unit, there was a ceiling on what he could increase. So for those buildings, it was usually 3 or 4%, and that was based on what the consumer price index said for that year. Now, flash forward to last Thursday. The new law says every building in the state of California that is older than 15 years. That means it's older than 15 years to the day. So if the building got its certificate of occupancy, today is September 17th. So 15 years ago today would be September 17th, 2004, right? So if the building was built prior to September 17th, 2004, it is subject to rent control. If the building was built after that date, it's exempt from rent control. So if you're in one of those shiny brand new buildings all over town, then your landlord does not have to listen to this law. Okay? Now that's important because you might live in an old building, and so that your building is subject to this new law. You might have just moved into a brand new building, and I want to warn you, you're not protected by this law. Now, some people say that's a great thing. Some people say that's a terrible thing. Depends on which side of this argument you're on. But remember this, the rule is 15 years old. Now, if you're going to go out looking for a place to live this weekend, the year that building was built is very important.